Now that we have all of our pieces together, we're going to need to determine which side they fall on, because we're going to move half of this, starting at the dividing line, to the right, half of it to the left, so they can cave in as it goes along. So probably the most fun way would be is from the same piece here, from the same central cutter, let's just make a big volume out of it and say whatever pieces are inside of this volume, you're on that side. So let's just do that. So global, let's just send it to the right, which is the positive z-axis apparently, output back. Remember to output back. And we're going to send it to the right over here, something like that. And let's make sure that that actually will capture everything. So it just barely does. We can just make it bigger just in case, just to make sure. So there we go. So it's going to eat all of these pieces. I'm going to make an SDF out of this from a VDB from polygons. SDF, as you recall from earlier lessons, is a signed distance field. It's a volume, like you're used to, where the values of every voxel in the volume stores the distance to the surface. More importantly for us, and I'm going to make it a little bit more coarse. There we go. Everything inside this area will be a negative number, getting deeper and deeper as we get towards the center. Everything outside will be a positive number. So all we really need to do is loop over this and say, what's the position of the piece that I'm on, and query the value of the signed distance field at that position. So as follows, we'll make a new attribute, an integer called side. So side 1 will mean that you are inside of this thing, which will be the right side. So side will say volume sample input 1, which is of course the second input, primitive 0, which is the only primitive because there's only one volume there. Sample it at the position, meaning the centroid, of this packed piece. Now, it's going to return a value from that, and remember, if it's negative, that means it's inside. So we'll just say, are you less than 0? If you are, this will resolve to true, meaning 1, and I side will equal 1. Otherwise, it'll be 0, meaning the left side. So we'll say here, calc side. Great. So let's see what we got. Let's see where we ended up with that. I'm going to say, hey, are you 1? There we go. Everything on the right side now is side equals 1. Now this ended up working pretty well for me. It's possible that you might have some weird peninsulas or extra pieces. So I'm just going to quickly show you how that might have gone wrong and how to fix it mostly. Back when we were here, when we made this geometry volume, what we can do is if we need to make tweaks, we can simply just grab some points on it and press T to move them. And as we move them, of course, the volume will change. And as the volume changes, the calculation will change, and which means that the side will change that it's on. So by moving those points, you can see how I affected the result here. So just by moving this stuff, if we need to make tweaks, we don't have to rely simply on where the central cutter is. But if we wanted to make tweaks later, either artistically, which is perfectly valid as well, or more importantly, if there's just an error and it looks like there's some pieces that are on the wrong side, that's how you would fix it, just by editing the thing. Now I don't have any problems, so I'm just going to delete it and move on. Great. Or later on, we're going to use two transforms to pull them apart based on that side business. Cool.